I'm building a set of unattached or floating deck steps, and I've never done this before, so this is going to be a first time thing. So we are using solid milled maple that my dad and I have milled. So I'm going to build a platform that's going to come away from the entry door about 38 inches or so. It's going to be 50 inches wide, and then I'm going to run stringers down and do about 3 steps down from that height. Woodworking, using power tools, really anything that you're dealing with blades or spinning things that are moving really fast, you should always wear maybe some gloves. You should probably wear safety glasses. This is really important. This is something that I've learned. I don't know if you can see that right there. Okay, so I injured my thumb a while ago using an angle grinder attachment that it was one of those chain blades. So it's like a chainsaw, 4.5 inch diameter chainsaw on the end of your angle grinder. Awesome tools. I really like them for carving and stuff. They also carve flesh and bone really well. Okay, so, and I thought to myself, I'm just going to do this piece really quick. I don't need my gloves. I don't need to clamp this piece. I'm just going to do it really quick. I did not, and it kicked, and it came back and very nearly took the tip of my thumb off. A healthy respect and knowledge of what those things can do. That way you don't lose a lot of blood trying to learn the hard way. So keep that in mind. Yeah, so just check out some of this grain pattern and texture, and I'm actually gonna sand this up a little bit more, and yeah, I'm gonna sand this a little bit, and I'm not gonna I'm not gonna polish any of this. It's just I just want to be able to see that grain, and kind of be able to bring out that texture just a little bit. So at this point, I'm going to put on one of my favorite tools here. So this video is not sponsored or anything. Honestly, at this point, I don't really even know anything about all of that. So this is not like a sponsorship. This is just, I'm telling you, this is a company that I have bought some things from, and I love these tools. So this is called, it's a company called Arbor, and this is called a turbo planer. Here's my handy dandy angle grinder. Yeah, this piece goes on first. Okay, and then you do these pieces that come with the turbo planer attachment. Okay, and then you use the spanner wrench, tighten that sucker up. And so the cool thing about this, I love Milwaukee tools. I've done construction and concrete work, and I've literally seen Milwaukee tools, impact drivers, ran over by a bulldozer, covered in mud, thrown in anger off of the roofs of houses, continue to work well for years. So I love Milwaukee tools. The main thing I like about their angle grinder is that it's some kind of torque limiter or something. So basically, several months ago when I almost chopped my thumb off, it was because I hit a knot in the piece of wood. This tool, especially with this attachment, if something like that happens, it'll just stop the machine. You can't actually keep it going. It's still possible to cut off limbs and lose appendages, but it's not as easy. Okay, so That's why I love this Milwaukee Angle Grinder with the Arbor Turbo Plane head attachment. You can see these blades on the underside there. So what I'm going to use this for right now is because if you're going to cut a 4-inch post with a 2-inch blade, you're going to have to make 2 cuts, and typically you're going to have just a little bit of a gap. So I'm going to use this fancy little turbo planer here to eliminate that and hopefully eliminate wobble in the steps. Maple is a hardwood. This actually is this is hard maple. There's hard maple and there's soft maple. This is hard maple. So a couple of things. One, it's probably not actually dry yet. I cut this maybe early spring, and right now it's the beginning of September. So it's had the opportunity to dry a little bit. So what I'm hoping is I'm going to build this and it's just going to stick together and probably not warp a whole lot really to make any difference. But yeah, you would never spend all this time sanding and finishing and everything. And I'm not going to spend too much longer, but I really do. I have the maple. It's really pretty wood, and I'm not going to the lumber store and buying just generic material. I'm intentionally making this out of stuff that I think is pretty, and so I might as well spend the time to accentuate the beauty that's already there in the wood, because that's what I like. So for any of you out there who happen to be perfectionists and everything always has to line up perfect, I will warn you, this could get ugly. Viewer discretion is advised. If you have a weak stomach, now may be the time for you to look away. One thing that I've learned from working with my dad and working in various industries and doing different things is there's no such thing as common sense. You could also say there's no such thing as a stupid question. When I've watched these YouTube videos on how to do woodworking and stuff like that, a lot of times you get these guys that are really good at what they do, and they just skip over a lot of things that they might consider to be self-explanatory. And to beginners, people who have really no concept of woodworking or whatever, you're just starting out and trying to learn things, there's no such thing as self-explanatory. These are my stringers. These took a little while to make. One, because I had to watch several YouTube videos on how to do it. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever done this. And I'll get the names of those videos later and put them down on the screen. So these were out of 2-inch milled slabs. So just a little bit of a look at some of these slabs here. The texture in it, it's got some really, really nice character. This was kind of cut off of some of the other slabs that we did. These are all 2-inch thick slabs. These deck stairs are not going to go anywhere once they're done. So the reason I used the chainsaw to cut these pieces was because these are really heavy. So using the skill saw, I didn't have anything to kind of catch it. So if it was going to fall, it was going to really kick that saw and just be more dangerous than it really needed to be. So I went ahead and just used the chainsaw and made sure to give myself plenty of overcut. That way I can then go ahead and come back with the skill saw and make these the dimensions that I actually need them to be. So all that's left to do now is put a railing piece up here. Then I'm just gonna put some linseed oil on it to coat it, because this doesn't get a lot of sun. Maybe a third of the day it gets direct sunlight. So this project took a really long time, and I'm still not actually done yet. The reason it took a long time is because this was rough cut, milled hard maple. I took the time that I wanted to take. I gave this all these pieces kind of the shape that I wanted.